a drink with me. Hey!
Welcome to Have a Drink with Me. I am your host, Dylan Polniak, and hold on to your butts because joining me today is the comedian who hit the #1 comedy album on iTunes, Valerie Tosi. Welcome to the show.
Hey, friend. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. You have the same name as my brother, so I feel very at home.
Dylan Polniak?
Yep,
That's awesome.
the exact. It's so crazy. I don't know how it happened, but yeah.
He's probably pissed that I own DylanPolniak.com. And that's probably why the domain bid is getting so high recently.
Oh no,
Well,
it's
that's good.
definitely wouldn't be him. He has no need for a website. Are you kidding me? He's 26 years old. Absolutely not.
Gotcha. Well, it's a good name nonetheless. So, welcome to the show. Thanks for doing this. You are blowing up right now. Like, congratulations on this iTunes feat. Beating
Thank
out
you.
Weird Al Yankovic.
I mean, to be fair,
come
that
on.
album's been out for a while. I was like, take a seat, Al. You've let somebody else shine for a moment. Bo Burnham, we'll get back to you in a minute. Just let me
Stay inside. It's Valerie's
stay
turn.
inside. It's my turn.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool, and congrats on that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You have picked our drink for today, and you've said that it's one of your favorite drinks. So I'm excited about this because we've never done this on the show. We just talked about this before we started recording. So what are we having?
We are having some sake, and for those of you watching this with a video, this is my favorite sake. It's Kikisui. It's not too. It's a filtered sake. It's not too hard to find, but it is very delicious. It's a dry sake. It has kind of like some cantaloupe, a little bit of mandarin. Some people get banana. I don't necessarily get the banana, but it is. It's a very, very good sake.
Oh, that's good. I just told you I'm drinking a $4 bottle from CVS, which I believe is. I mean, I could see banana, but it's more of like dishwater.
Your banana would be like Runts bananas. Like if you got it for CVS for $4, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried for you.
Yeah, well, I did need to use my CVS membership card to get the $4 discount. It's typically about 6 to 7. So.
Oh man, did you get your 20% off coupon for getting vaccinated at CVS?
Oh, I didn't tell them, and I should have.
Oh no! Yeah, they gave.
Pull
they
up on my phone
coupon.
the little screenshot of it.
It's so funny too, because on like the breakdown of it, it's like cannot be used for prescriptions, blah blah blah, and then there's like this long myriad list, and I'm like, what was this for then? A pack of gum? Like, thanks guys.
That's great. I would love to use my vaccine card as a discount on $4 sake. But yeah, so yours sounds great. On average, like how much does yours cost?
It's not super crazy. There's a really cool Japanese market called is it? I always mess up the name. I think it's called Marukai, I believe. It's in Little Tokyo in LA. And this bottle normally, if you go to like a market where it's like normally priced, it's like $20 a bottle, $25 a bottle. It's not bad.
Okay.
But like, restaurants will usually mark it up. I've seen it go for a lot more than that for like the same size, but it is, if you can just buy it like normally at a store, it's very, very tasty.
Well, good. Do you get to use your CVS card for that as well?
No, I could not. But I do have a frequent flyer card over there because I go to that market a lot. They have like a lot of like
good.
fun kind of kitschy stuff. Like they sell a lot of like dishware and things. So I like mix and match like all my own like dishware with like cool stuff that's imported from Japan and whatnot. So it's fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that you're drinking out of like little sake glasses, which is great. I brought I don't know what you would call this, a sake.
I guess a carafe, like, right?
Carafe, a sake carafe, sure. But then I'm doing my shots out of a little plastic solo cup.
Perfectly fitting for the man who's got Star Wars in the background.
Oh yeah, Star Wars and pro wrestling. Can't forget about this pro wrestler here, Hangman Adam Page. But
nice.
So sake is that your go-to for any time you're drinking, or is this like just a fun, relaxing? It's Monday at 5:30 p.m. kind of thing.
I drink it frequently. I usually have a bottle or two in the fridge. But it's one of those things where I like it supplemental with a Sapporo, like with with a mug of
Okay,
beer
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, because I like to sip on it, but it's nice too because it's especially if you don't feel like filling up on beer, it's nice to kind of drink because it's still a pretty good kick for alcohol content, but
Hmm.
it's like nice and smooth. So yeah, I like it a lot.
What's the percentage on the one that you get?
This one is where is it? It says 15 to 16%.
It's not even
Why is
sure.
it? I was like, why does it say it like that? I was like, I literally read
Does it
when I
have a
read it. I was
question
like,
mark after it?
no, it just has this emoji.
Yeah. 15 to 16?
Yeah, I was like, were
Well,
you
that's
guys
good.
drunk when you wrote this label? Like what? I
Hmm.
don't know, it's 15 or 16. Like,
Yeah, I forgot measurements. Whatever, go with it. So to go with Saki, I think this is a great segue because I watched this movie again today. Our movie is Jurassic Park, and I feel like if Jurassic Park was ever truly going to exist, the only scientists who could actually make this a reality would be Japanese scientists.
oh,
No
for
way
sure.
is anyone else going to be building a Jurassic Park.
No, no, no,
So
no.
there's my segue into our topic. We're going to talk about Jurassic Park.
I love this movie so much.
What's your broad reason for loving it so much?
I guess it's probably one of it came out in 93, so I was born in
Hmm.
85, so I was like the perfect age for this movie. I was 8 years old and just very like dinosaurs on screen, you know what I mean? Just
Hmm.
like terrifying because they do such a great job with like practical effects and like yeah, sure
Oh
there's
yeah.
there's CGI and whatnot, but like a lot of it is practical.
Hmm.
And it scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. And my
Yeah.
dad had the book because the book came out in 1990. It was by Michael Crichton. And the book, it's so much darker than the movie. It's so much darker. Like there's
Oh
so much
really?
more. Oh yeah, there's so much more violence and death in the book. They had to kind of like you know chill it out a little bit for the
Yeah.
for the movie. And but Spielberg, I think he said he bought the rights for like 1.5 million, and he got it like right when the book was coming out because they like he knew immediately that he wanted it.
Yeah.
And then they had Michael Crichton come on and actually like write the script to like for the adaptation of the film.
Oh
But
wow.
it's so good. It's just like it's that type of movie that it doesn't matter what I'm doing. If it's on TV, I will watch it. Like it's
Hmm.
like that thing and it usually is on TV somewhere. Like if you're
Yeah.
at like your parents' house and like something's on, like you're just flipping through one of the Jurassic Parks or Jurassic Worlds is usually on.
Hmm.
So I'll watch it. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah. The new trilogy, the Jurassic World, or there's only two of the new Jurassic World, correct? Third one's
Oh,
coming out soon.
it's coming out in June 2022, baby.
Okay, so
Yeah.
those are currently on Spectrum TV, so that they're on cable. I was gonna watch those next because I watched the first movie on HBO Max, and it's first of all, it's one of the best CGI movies of all time because it's hard to tell when they're doing CGI or practical effects because they match the lighting correctly and everything just is so smooth.
Except for
I
the
don't
scene
know.
with Gallimimus. That scene is like, no, these are for sure CGI. Like when they're all
Wait,
running in
which
the
one was
field.
that?
When they're
Oh
out
yeah, yeah,
running. Yeah, yeah. That one you're like,
yeah.
oh, okay. But like the rest of it's pretty good.
Yeah, we can skip that part.
Yeah.
But there's a part, there's a YouTube channel, Corridor Digital. They did a breakdown of the special effects. And when the T-Rex, they're out in the rain and they're in the different Humvees, there's a scene where the T-Rex is screwing with an upside down Jeep and the people are escaping from it. Jeep and dinosaur 100% CGI. And I always thought that they did some kind of rigging with a practical head, practical Jeep. Nope, all CGI. Couldn't even tell.
It's so crazy. They do such a good job. And like that's one of my favorite things about living out here in LA because every once in a while I'll see one of the Jurassic Park Jeeps out in the wild
Oh yeah.
just like driving on the freeway and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yes, it's my favorite. It's so fun." It's still honestly I don't know, I can't remember. Are you local to LA or
Yeah,
no?
yeah. I'm Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've been to Universal since they updated the ride from Jurassic Park to Jurassic World,
That
but
was the next thing I wanted to talk to you about.
yeah. So okay, here's my thing. It was one of my favorite rides. It was my favorite ride at Universal. I don't hate the update, but it just makes me so bummed where they substitute so many of the practical effects for like all these screens where I'm like, I
video
can watch.
aquarium.
Yeah, I'm just like, I can watch this movie at home. Like, I come to a theme park because I want practical effects. I don't want just something that is
Yeah.
me staring at another screen.
Exactly.
And so it is still really cool. I do like I'm glad that they kept a lot of the same practical effects, like when the T-Rex comes down from the ceiling as you're like going up before you do the descent.
The scariest part, yeah.
It's so good. I love it so much. But yeah, now I think my favorite ride is probably the Mummy, because it's like one of the last OG rides still there with all the practical stuff, and it's so fun.
I think they're getting rid of Brendan Fraser from that.
What do you mean from the?
Like in that ride, like you get to the end, you pull up and he's laughing and he's cheesy with a bunch of mummies. Like they're trying
what?
to like
I don't remember that.
To like when you end, you pull up, you've gone through all the stuff, you've forfeited your soul to the mummy.
Yeah.
Then Brendan Fraser pops up and he's like, "Oh, hey, thanks for going on the ride." And then like a mummy shows up and he screams.
I've never seen that. Are you sure that maybe that's been gone for a while, because I've never seen that.
Weird. Well,
Yeah.
I used to live in Orlando, so I've gone to Universal Orlando and Universal
Oh, so that
Hollywood.
might have been that one.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
But the good thing about Universal Orlando and Universal Hollywood is the Jurassic Park ride was almost identical. And I had a thought about this where who really cares about the King Kong ride? If you really want to do something awesome, repurpose the King Kong ride to be a second Jurassic Park ride where you're going through the actual 3D screens and then have people throw water at you and stuff when the big water Jurassic World animals. I don't know. But Jurassic Park ride, that is my favorite from Universal. Then Mummy, close second.
Yeah, I'm like, because it's so fun. Like I truly love, because I moved out here. I think the ET ride was already gone when I got here, so I never got to experience that. But like, I do like that Jurassic Park ride is just it's Jurassic World now, but it is like the original one was just so fun.
It's funny how Jurassic World is almost all CGI, and you can tell every little bit CGI to the point where they ruined the great Universal ride by making it all CGI rather than practical effects.
I know.
It's like the first part when you drive through is like the best part because everything's normal and you see all the plants and you see all the animatronics all around you. And now you're in a little video screen and you're watching a movie essentially.
Yeah, it's just so lame. And it's like not even really good. You know what I mean? It's like it looks cheesy where you're like, this looks like this is silly, you know? Like it really it loses a lot of its luster, I think, from doing that. And I wonder too, like you were saying with the new ones, how it's mostly CGI and not practical effects. I know CGI is really expensive, but I wonder if it's more expensive than doing practical effects, or which one is, I guess, like there's of course there's certain things they can't do with practical effects, but I do wonder like nowadays which is more expensive in the long run, you know?
But also, how realistic do you want your movie to be? Because it also depends. If you hire a CGI company to create your dinosaurs, are they as realistic as a practical effect? But also, if they aren't as realistic as a practical effect, then you must not care enough or have the budget to do practical effects in the first place. But I think like there should be a more of an emphasis on that, because the new Jurassic World movies, it's so hard to get into. First of all, because Bryce Dallas Howard runs in heels through mud.
It's so dumb.
But also everything's CGI, so it's just like I'm just watching Chris Pratt in front of a green screen, and cool. But like in the first movie, you feel like they're actually there. The kids are better actors than anyone in the newer movies, and everything just looks so real, except for the hill, everyone running on the hill.
And
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
do a
that
great
movie
job.
too, they really do. And like, in that movie, I straight up like, I remember so many of the lines from it. Like, you know what I mean? Like just going through like, and I'm like shocked at how much I remember just
Yeah.
unintentionally from seeing it so many times. And like one of my favorite times that I did get to see it was they did a screening at the El Capitan Theater, and they did
Mhm.
it because it's like 40, so they had like the
Oh,
seats were like
jeez. Yeah.
rumbling, and they had like water shooting out, and they had smoke and like all this stuff. It was so fun because I can't remember. It might have been trying to think if it was like it might have been the 20th anniversary or the 25th
Yeah.
anniversary when I got to see it like that. But it was like, it was just so fun to do it that way. Cause it's just such a fun ride. And like, and even like I said, even though I know the other movies and things in the franchise aren't as good, I still can't help but consume it. Like I even watched,
Mhm.
I didn't watch the second season yet because it just came out not too long ago, but there's a kind of kids version of, there's an animated show on Netflix called Camp Cretaceous. I don't know if you've seen it.
Mm-mm. Haven't heard of it.
It's
I'll write it
cute.
down.
It's Jurassic Park, and it's like they're kids. It's supposed to take place like in modern day, where the kids are going to
Oh,
this
yeah,
like
yeah.
park. Yeah.
So I've seen ads for it, but I haven't seen the show.
Yeah, it's cute, but it is a little darker than I kind of anticipated. Like when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh shit!" When a
Mhm.
few parts, because I really thought it was going to be like a straight up kids show, and there was a few
Yeah.
parts where I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe
The
not."
kids are like fucking dinosaurs, and
Yeah,
they're like killing each other. Yeah.
honestly, like there's one where I was like people die in it, and there's like one where like one of the
Wow.
kids, like you think he dies, and you're like, and I think I'm pretty sure they leave it open ended where you're like he's probably going to come back for like the second season, but you were just like, oh my
Mhm.
god, like,
But he's like missing an arm and his leg.
no, I'm trying to remember what it was. I think he got like they were getting chased by like and I can't remember. I think he like fell off of like a tram when it was like up in the air. I think that's what it was. It's
Mm.
been a while since I've seen it, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that's what it was.
But you said that there's so many scenes or quotes and stuff that you can memorize. Is there a favorite quote that you have in all of the movies?
Well,
In this movie, sorry.
first of all, I do love that you opened up the podcast by saying, "Hold on to your butts."
Thank you.
I caught that right away.
Hmm.
I mean, I love that. And there's so many that I quote all the time. Like when I'm out, like if I'll always be like, we got Dotson here. See, nobody cares. Like,
Hmm.
like, you know what I mean? Like, don't get cheap on me, Dotson. That was Hammond's mistake.
Yeah.
Like all that.
That's like a
like,
huge meme now.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
just like any of that, or like, no, like no wonder why you're extinct. And like, but like the scene, I think that and the scene where the little girl, when she's like, he left us, like that, whole thing when she's like, and then obviously the iconic, like how many of us have recreated that scene where you have the Jello on the spoon where she's trying to eat it and she's just like,
Mhm.
but it's
And
just
then the raptor just perfectly
in the
silhouettes
silhouette.
up to the painting of it.
It's so good. And
Great.
like, God, and I love Laura Dern. Like
Mhm.
she's so young. I forget how young she was in that. Like seeing her in things like Big Little Lies and stuff now, and then going back and you're like, she was such a baby in this. And oh God, yeah, it's so good. And like Jeff Goldblum is just, I mean, my God,
He's the best.
he's just the
My
best.
favorite line is from Dr. Malcolm when they're on the helicopters, and he just says, "So you two, you dig up dinosaurs?" And then he does his fucking laugh is for way too long. It makes no sense, but it's great because it's Jeff Goldblum, and that's what you expect when you see Jeff Goldblum. And it doesn't even take from the movie. It's just like, what an eccentric scientist or doctor, rather.
Jeff
whatever he is.
Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum, and
Jeff-
that's all
Jeff be
you
Jeffin'.
ever want. And it's like that, and I love that line too when he's like, she's tenacious, isn't she? And he's like, you have no idea. Like just hands and dinosaur shit. Like it's
Yep.
it's so great. I like there's a great
And she's got those big gloves on too, but it's all over her knees. I specifically looked to see where it was on her today when I watched it, and yeah, she's got freckles all over her knees from it.
so gross. Like, yeah, it's just God, it's like Because it is one of those movies, because a lot of times when you see things that are like sci-fi and like have like heavy science base where you're like, this could never happen. But like
Mhm.
watching this movie, I know there's certain things that they got wrong in the movie, obviously, but it is
Yeah.
like you watch it and like as just a layperson, you're like, oh, like this could happen, In fact, it was funny
Mhm.
because when I was Googling some stuff for the podcast because I wanted to remember like the chronological order of like the titles of all the movies and stuff. And there was
Yeah.
like, when I just started typing in Jurassic Park, I was like crying laughing because so many, how it like automatically prompts to stuff that people search for. So like,
Is Jurassic Park real?
yeah, somebody was like, why is Jurassic Park so good? And then one was like, are there real dinosaurs in Jurassic Park? And like all this stuff. And you're like, you guys, do you know who's looking for this?
But think of how great the movie is for people to truly think that some of this could be real, because the practical effects were just so incredible. Where now it's like, if anyone's like watching Jurassic World, they're like, was Chris Pratt real? Like, that's what you have to ask.
I mean, I wish he wasn't, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a prick now.
He's such Chris Prick, more like it. But
yeah, I do have a question. Even you were saying about how people are asking dinosaurs are real. Have you ever thought, if Jurassic Park was real, would you ever go there?
1,000%.
Really?
Oh my God. Are you
Even
kidding
knowing
me?
everything you know about how much it screws
Yeah.
up?
I'm an idiot. I would for sure go. Are you kidding? I was never the kid that wanted to go to space camp, but if you dangled this in front of me, I would go. I would mortgage a house I don't even own. I would sell my eggs. I would do whatever I had to like, oh yeah, I would for sure go.
Okay. Did you have like toy dinosaurs growing up? I feel like there's like two types of kids. You had dinosaurs or you didn't.
Well, it's so funny
you a
that you
dinosaur
mentioned
kid?
that because I happen to have this right here. This is
that one of the damaged ones though?
one of the oh, don't you dare. No, this is literally from 1993, right? Yeah, it's a Kenner. It's from 1993. It is literally a Velociraptor. It is still like in, it's it's banged up a little bit, but it's still like on guard. Like, oh yeah. So not only do I have that, I mean, I couldn't even grab everything because certain stuff is like put away, but I have one of the like Dino Eye watches from when Burger King did these. Like I have a couple of them.
Nice.
Oh yeah. They're ridiculous. And then this is one of my favorites, and I didn't even realize I found it a couple years ago, and I just thought it was cool, so I grabbed it. So I already had I have Jurassic Park on VHS, but then I saw one at a store. It's still in the shrink wrap, like completely. Yeah, like the VHS completely in the shrink wrap. And so I bought it just because it was like $10, and I was like, that's just cool to have. And I looked it up online, and it for like in that condition, it goes for like I think like $150, and I was like laughing. I was like, this is so dumb. But
you could sell that to go to real Jurassic Park.
Something tells me I would need quite a lot of those to be able to afford that. But I have like a bunch of stuff. Like I have like patches. I have like this. Actually, I don't think you can see it from here, but one of my favorite gifts actually that my boyfriend got me was there's somebody that makes them where it's a VHS of Jurassic Park that the actual cassette is like wired where there's lights inside of it that change color, and it's like just like a really cool like LED like light thing that you have on your desk. It has a little remote so you can like choose the colors and stuff. It's so rad. So I have that too. That's up in my my nerd display is over in the corner. You just can't see it from where.
Yeah, I want everyone to know right off the bat I'm a virgin. And and that's it. And when I was asking if your toy was damaged, what I meant was battle damaged, because they did a whole line of the battle damaged. I didn't want to like say like, oh, your toy, your box is damaged, but they had the battle damaged where chunks of the dinosaurs were missing, and it showed the blood and all the bones inside. I don't know why I'm showing on my hand as if I'm a dinosaur, but they had a line of the Jurassic Park toys that were battle damaged, where
Oh, I don't
chunks
know
of
if I
them were
saw
missing.
those. That's
Okay.
cool.
I wasn't trying to say like, oh, you've got a mint, on card, whatever. Like,
That's so
you prick,
funny.
is it broken? I wasn't trying to.
Is it battled?
Yeah. Wasn't trying
That's
to
so
offend
funny.
your wonderful collection, because I appreciate it. I mean, this collection behind me is not even 1% of what I own, so wasn't trying to trash.
Oh yeah. No,
your stuff.
I
Here.
have I have a bunch of stuff. I have a lot of art too that's kind of hard it's hard to see, but you can probably almost see it. That there's one that I have that's like all they're the characters done as dinosaurs, which is really
Oh, wow.
neat. I have another one that is just it's a I think is it a Tom? I forget who did that piece, but there's another one that I have that's really cool. That's of Dennis Nedry and the Dilophosaurus. I have another one that's because all the dinosaurs were female, and it's got there's three separate little pieces that are framed together that are they're all like feminist slogans where it's like who run the world and like all this stuff. It's like really funny, but yeah, I love it so much. It's the best.
That's great. Did you have a favorite death in the movie?
Yeah, oh, man, who doesn't love to see a lawyer get eaten on a toilet?
That was that is my note. Favorite death in the first movie, Toilet Boy. Toilet Boy was my number one.
Yeah. The only one on my side is the blood-sucking lawyer. I think the death that I really felt bad. I mean, there was a few, but that's that reveal of Laura Dern going through and trying to fix the power, and she's like, "Oh, Mr. Arnold," then she turns around and it's just his arm, and you're like, "No!"
Yeah.
That is pretty gruesome. And then the scene where I'm blanking on his name right now, but the Australian dude when they're going through to try to get her inside to go through the circuit breakers, and he gets eaten by
Clever Girl.
He gets Clever Girl.
Yeah.
Clever Girl. That
Clever
one,
Girl.
That one is that one's pretty gruesome.
Watching it now, I wish we could have just heard I've had it with these motherfucking dinosaurs, because if the movie was made now with Samuel L. Jackson, we would have gotten that for sure. And for some reason, watching the movie back in the 90s when it first came out, and then watching it now, I still have this weird guilt or something watching Newman dying. Yes, he screwed everyone over. He unlocked the whole place and stole the Barbasol can of the shaving cream and but still watching him die with that spitty girl.
Yeah. That's the
Dilophosaurus. Still was like, oh, I hate seeing that death for some reason, even though he's the biggest asshole in this movie.
Yeah, I think that one was really. I'm the opposite, where I'm like, oh, that's so satisfying, because how much he fucked over everybody, and you're just watching it, and you're like, but because it is such an interesting. There's so many turns of events. First it's he can't see because his glasses are fogging, and then somebody who wears glasses, I'm like, that's.
Oh, I've got my contacts in right now because my lights are too bright and they'll reflect.
Yeah, you get it. It's we can't even use a ring light. Are you kidding me? Or even now having to wear masks all the time, and with them fogging, I'm like,
all the fog, yeah.
Yeah. So that, and just all of it, him just being such a prick, and that's actually another.
And he keeps calling it a boy too.
Yes, and he's like,
and they're all female.
Go fetch, and he's like, come on, stupid, and you're like, well, you have it coming now, pal.
Yeah,
because. And one of the other pieces that I have that's really cool, I actually have to find it because I don't know where it is, but it's a really cool piece where it's the Barbasol can of shaving cream, and it's glow in the dark. So when you when the lights go out, you can see the embryos inside, which is really neat.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah, I have to find it. It's somewhere because I know, I moved not too long ago, so I haven't gotten all my stuff up on the walls yet. So I still
haven't gotten your Barbasol can out, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't found it yet. I actually don't know where it is. I'm like, where did I put that? I'm like, ugh. But yeah, that one's so cool. I love all that stuff. It's so fun. I can't wait to see Dominion. I can't even watch movies past like 8 p.m. because I fall asleep. I will see that. I will drink 10 Red Bull to see that movie at midnight on the night it comes out.
My wife and I sneak energy drinks into almost every movie we go to just so we can stay awake for an hour and a half.
I get it.
And it's always like great movies too. So it's not like they're boring. It's 8 o'clock. I mean, right now it's 6:12 where we are recording this. And I'm like, I'm going to tuck her out after this.
I know. But truth be told, I was fading so hard. I was like, oh God, I have to do this podcast. Oh God, okay. I was like, I hate it.
Nobody likes Dylan. I don't want to fucking do this thing. Yeah, everyone tells me that.
Oh, well, it's tough too with like the fact that we haven't gone through daylight savings again yet, where it's getting dark so early. It's just, it messes with you so hard.
Yeah. Like 4 o'clock, it's dark.
Yep. Not to mention that we're also still dealing with like yet another COVID surge. So we're all trying to hunker in anyway. And it's like, you're just tired. It's like, it's mentally exhausting, all of this.
Yeah. It's hard to tell what time it is when you don't see outside for like 6 days at a time.
Yep.
We're kind of wrapping up the topic here. There's one more thing I did want to talk about, and this is how Jurassic Park leads into Jurassic World movies. And what I would have loved to see that we didn't get is like, there's not enough tie-in, I feel like. I feel like there should be a lot more. I mean, now we're getting, Jeff Goldblum and Alan Grant and everything, but I would have loved for the fat boy at the beginning of Jurassic Park who talks about the raptors and Alan Grant tries to cut him up. That should have been Chris Pratt as a boy. Like, they should have said that was the character and he grew up loving raptors, because what a great way to tie it in and to actually care about this character. This like little boy doesn't like raptors, doesn't care about anything, and then he has this moment where we've all had this moment in our childhood where something snapped and we're like, this is what I love, this is what I want to do. And how incredible would that have been if that grew up to be Chris Pratt and then he's a raptor trainer? Like, fucking great. Instead, it's just, Chris Pratt's, he's just some fucking hot boy with 3 blue dinosaurs, or 1 blue dinosaur and 2 greens.
Yeah. That's such a brilliant concept. What a great idea. Do you guys hear this, Universal? You done fucked up. Because
there just wasn't enough tie-in,
Yeah, there wasn't, and like, I don't know. I wish that they had. I just wish they got the gang all back together to like initially. So you know what I mean? To like, and I don't know if maybe it's because nobody wanted to, or maybe they were too expensive. Because like even this past, the newer one, Fallen Kingdom, that came out, like we were all so jazzed because we go there. It's like, oh my God, Jeffrey Goldblum's going to be in it. Like, holy shit. But then he was in it for like 2 seconds in like a courtroom scene. And you're like, this is lame. This is not what we thought,
Yeah. I mean, right after the first movie, there would have been all of the courtroom scenes. Everyone would have taken I don't think he was a doctor, but Hammond to court so hard that there wouldn't have been a second movie. So if you're going to do a 4th movie, those characters should have been what led to this. I mean, even if we didn't get Alan Grant and everyone in Jurassic World, I feel like there should have been more of the tie-in of like, why is Chris Pratt so good with dinosaurs? Why have the dinosaurs and people been around so much still to the point where Chris Pratt can train raptors, where Alan Grant in 95 was like, do not fucking go after raptors. They're terrible. They hunt in 3s. And then Chris Pratt's just like, hey, I own 3. We're best buds. I mean, there's not a lot of tie-in. And I thought the last movie was full trash. I laughed through the whole thing because it was so bad.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing.
But I'm excited to see last thing. I'm excited to see all the people come back who they've announced. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
You're that's it. I'm leaving. No, but it is like.
All right. Find us on social media at hadwm. See you guys.
But it is like, it's so frustrating because it's like, to be completely frank, all of the ones that are after the original are not good. Like, I
Yeah.
will watch the shit out of them because it's like I love them and it doesn't matter, and I can't, we all love movies that are not objectively good, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just so frustrating where you have something that's like you did so much world building in the first 3 movies that it's like to just throw all that away and
Yeah.
to just like you basically just like reference the rest of it is so frustrating. And like
Mm-hmm.
I am curious to see what they do with Dominion, because apparently it's supposed to be, I think they said like 4 years after Fallen Kingdom is supposed to take place, and
Mm.
it's that it's kind of that basically it's going to have people kind of having to coexist with dinosaurs, which that part is interesting to me because we haven't seen that. We've only seen like them, stuck on an island, or like if they
Mm-hmm.
do come to the mainland, it's just a couple of them. And like, so
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how they, how they're going to do it that way. But
Mm-hmm.
it is like yeah, it's so it's man, you guys. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you should watch Camp Cretaceous though, because it's fun.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I will check it out for show. But yeah, I feel like, the second one and third one, obviously not as good as the first, but still they stuck with that story of this
Hmm.
is logical of what would happen next. Of course, the United States would try to take dinosaurs to the US. Obviously. Like, we don't know better. Like, that is what would happen. Maybe it wasn't executed well, but of course. Sure. And then, more dinosaurs show up in the third one, but yeah, we're just supposed to think that after what happened in 3, everything's normal, and we have another dinosaur resort in 4, technically. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Like, is
hard to
it supposed
follow.
to take place on a different island? But still,
Yeah.
it's like it's so stupid. Like, yeah,
Hmm. Who cares what island? Stop doing it.
I
Stop
yeah.
making dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Quit
I
making
don't think
them
the island
dinosaurs.
matters.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs. Oh God, I love that. That is like,
Yeah.
oh, Mr. DNA. Like,
Yeah. Mr. DNA with dinosaurs.
I do love that. That VO is so wonderful. Because like, so I'm a big pinball nerd, and one of my favorite things is like if I could own any pinball table, I for sure. Well, let me rephrase. If I could own any pinball table that's actually good, is because I love the X-Files is one of my favorite franchises, but like the
Hmm.
pinball table's not great. But the Jurassic Park, there's the original one that came out like, in the 90s. There's the
Hmm.
new one that they put out that is excellent, but the voiceover for all of the characters is dog shit. And then there's also one that they put out in the 90s for The Lost World, which is really fun. There's like a big egg in it and stuff that's
Oh,
really
fun.
fun. Yeah, the pinball tables are really fun.
So that you mentioned 3 pinball tables. The second one that you mentioned, is that a new table based on the original movies or a new table based
Hmm.
on the new movies?
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
it's a new table based on the original movie. Yeah.
Okay. Because, like, if someone was to create a pinball table of the new movies, you would just be looking at a screen rather than practical pins and flippers and stuff. It would just be a screen that you see.
It is
And that's
incredible
just
how
me
much.
talking shit about the new movie.
Well, I mean, it is crazy how much they've incorporated, screens and stuff into the newer tables, but I actually like it. Like, it's not it doesn't take away from it, because I actually prefer
Yeah.
the newer tables over the 90s, and the aughts tables are great, but the
Hmm.
old like 70s tables, they're just like there isn't as I don't know, I just find them a little more like there's skill involved, but it is a little more. I don't know. They're just not as fun because there isn't as much going on. There's not as
Yeah.
many like challenges. Like you don't have skill shots. You don't have like all these
Hmm.
other like components of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree. I like that. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And then when we return, you've got a drinking story for us. We're going to figure out
Hmm.
where we can find you on social media. And then I'm going to try to sell everyone listening and watching the merch that I've created. So we'll be right back. If you've made it this far into the episode, it's safe to assume you're enjoying the show. You can support this podcast by picking up some merch over at shop.stricterpictures.com. Please like, comment, subscribe,
and check out some of the other content we've created on this channel. Thanks.
We are back.
Hey!
Now we're back.
Oh,
Welcome back to the show. You just showed me some little bottle and you said, "Are we back yet?" And then you shook it and you hid it from me. So I need to know what it is.
Okay. Yeah, I did just have to pee on our break. And to make sure that I'm a cleanly person, I used my Tyrannosaurus embryo sanitizer. It's restricted cold storage. It's from the Isla Nublar laboratory, and it is not actually that, but I wish it was. It's perfect.
Well, thanks for using that specifically for this show. You purchased it, you ran out, purchased it, came back and used it just to product placement for this podcast, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. I'm just trying to be a content creator. You know what I mean?
Hashtag blessed. XOXO gossip girl.
I know.
So, first of all, let's get into, again, fucking congrats. You hit #1 iTunes comedy album. Tell us a little bit about it and where everyone can find it.
Sure. So the album just was released on January 21st. It's called Beach Trash because that is what I am. And I recorded it at the Comedy Attic in Bloomington, which is one of the best clubs in the country. I highly recommend. And a lot of people ask me why I did not record it back in Boston. And it's because I did not want my own family to ruin the recording. So, yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you're doing wicked good, sweetie. Yeah, I didn't need that. So I recorded it there. It's through the label Blonde Medicine, who are the nicest people on the planet to work with. And it hit #1 when it debuted, which was really cool. And been getting a lot of really cool press. I had a big interview with the Boston Globe, which was really neat.
Wow.
And there's some stuff that hasn't come out yet. There should be something with Vonuland coming out soon with Rebellious Magazine. I just did a thing with Uprocks where they asked me for my favorite spots to eat on the road, and I got to prove just how much of a dirtbag I am. And so that just came out.
Aldi.
Did you say Aldi?
Yeah.
Like the grocery store chain?
Oh, yeah. It's a hot spot. Hot spot for East Coasters.
It's so funny because I had never even knew about Aldi until, because we didn't have any like where we were, but like recently they must have gotten somewhere. I grew up because now my best friend that actually shot the cover art for the album, her name's Darielle Rose. She's a makeup artist and a photographer. She's incredible. We've been friends since we were 14. And now every time I go home, I stay with her and she's like, I'm like, oh my God, where'd you get that? Aldi. Like every time I'm like, what are you, a walking spokesperson? What happened?
Yeah.
Like,
we have one now in Burbank. And there's one in Van Nuys.
I went to the one in Burbank. It's dog shit. Why is everyone talking about that? Because like she was excited because like the way she explained it, she got all these like really cool pots and pans and like all this amazing like cookware and stuff. And then I was like so stoked because I'm like, oh my God, there's one out here in Burbank. Hell yeah. And then I went and there's like, it's just like a sad grocery store. It's like not even like, it's weird.
I would say that, yeah, Aldi Burbank is probably the worst of the stores, but it's still pretty great. One of my friends told me in high school, he bought this like brand new computer. And I was like, oh, where'd you get this computer? He's like, Aldi. And I said, you fucking asshole. And I was pissed at him for so long. And you know what? I went to Aldi like 3 weeks later. His computer was there for sale. Not his specifically, but same brand.
That's crazy. They sell computers?
Yeah, it's
Why
Aldi.
does the one in Burbank suck? I'm so mad.
I don't know. They're catching up. They've got some good like lawn furniture and like gnomes and stuff, but
they didn't even...
we'll get there.
Oh, thank God.
It
Gnomes?
takes a village.
Okay. You know what? I take everything back.
Name the last grocery store you went to that had good gnomes. And you can't say 99-cent store. That's technically not a grocery store.
And I mean, based off of what I saw in Burbank, Aldi is not technically a grocery store either. That's right. I said
you're not a real East Coaster.
What? Oh, I'm
Actually,
not.
You're more east. You're more east than where I'm from. So yeah, you're more East Coast than I am. Sorry, I take that back. I'm a fool. I'm sorry. But you have this new album, and where can everyone find it? I mean, obviously it was number one iTunes, but iTunes, where else?
It's kind of everywhere. I mean, here's the thing. Where would I like you to get it from? It would be great if you could
That's more
actually.
important, yeah.
Yes, it would be great if you could purchase it because the streaming stuff doesn't pay very well. So, if you could purchase it on Apple Music or on Bandcamp, that would be lovely. I believe you could also purchase it on Amazon. And if you are not into any of those, you can find it on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube Music. I think it's on Tidal too. And yeah, listen, if you broke and you want it, sure, but like maybe if you have money at some point, buy a pin or whatever, because I do have some really cool enamel pins that are limited edition that we did for the album, that part of the proceeds are going to the Ocean Conservancy to clean up beach trash.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Title of your album. Everyone find
yeah.
it. And that's I feel like one of the big things we've dealt with COVID for the last 2 years, and everyone wants to support their friends and whatever, and everyone complains about Amazon doing this and Walmart doing that. And you know what? We all order our stuff from Amazon. We all order our stuff from Walmart. But don't you want to support your friends? Don't you want to support people who aren't the Walton family or Jeffrey Bezos, who's in space? Support real people who are doing what they love alone. I mean, you don't have an army of underpaid, white
Minions.
trash under you.
An army of white trash. Well, what I tell people too is I'm like, look, if the only way you can find it, yes. Or if like, 'cause some people I've had be like, I have an Android, I don't have Apple Music, or I don't have whatever. Then when I'm like, listen to it on Spotify and Venmo me $9.99. It's like literally,
Exactly.
like I don't care. Or come to a show, like any of that. And like if you buy a ticket for a show, we'll consider it even. Just like what.
Do you want to share your Venmo on this podcast so people can at least send you $1?
Oh my God.
At least
I would. Oh my
buy
God.
her a coffee.
Yeah, but are you kidding me? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe fund my trip to the real Jurassic Park. That's all I want, You want to hear? Okay.
I'm off key. Sorry.
Want to hear something even dorkier? So I'm a band kid. And I went to drum major academy. I sure did. And the first song I ever learned to conduct to was the Jurassic Park theme.
For the video watchers, can you show us just a snippet? Maybe like 2 seconds?
No, yeah, it is in 4/4 time. Okay, so my Venmo is at Valerie Tosi. Very easy. My socials, if you would like to find me on the gram, the Twitter. I have a TikTok, but I'm old and I can't bring myself to do much with it, but it's there. They're all at Valerie_Tosi.
Perfect. Yeah, my 10-year-old nephew just followed me on TikTok, and that's where I learned I got to get off TikTok.
It hurts.
So everyone, check out her album. Buy it. If you can't buy it, give her $1 at least. I mean, if you're going to listen to it, come on. You're going to support, you're going to order something on Amazon tonight for free 2-day shipping. It sounds like I'm promoting Amazon now. But check out this album and help her out. Why not?
Here are your 3
And
price
there's someone
points.
in the background now.
Yep. Hey, babe.
Hopefully not a stranger. Hey, babe.
Here are your 3 price points. You can either Venmo me $9.99 for the album. You can Venmo me $4.20 for the obvious, or you can Venmo me 69 cents because you're a creep. So it's any of those is great. Those are great options.
But we can't let you know which one, but one of them includes feet pictures. So they're my feet pictures. They're my feet pictures.
I would send people feet pictures if they want. Are you kidding me? What do I care?
If anyone does any of these amounts, any of these specific amounts, please reach out to me. I'll send feet pictures as well. But you have a drinking story that you want to share with us.
Okay.
When I say us, I mean me and my Star Wars dolls.
So I mentioned band, which is kind of a perfect segue. Mm-hmm. So I was a dorky kid. I did theater and marching band and concert band and all that. When I went to college, I went to UMass Amherst, which is known for their incredible marching band. It is like a 350 person marching band. It's enormous. And we didn't ever really compete, but we were an exhibition band. So we would do, we got invited to perform for like the inaugural parade. We got to do, I performed for the Grand National Championships for like different competitions, that it was at the old Colt Stadium in Indianapolis, which was really cool. And so we got to do a lot of really neat stuff. And so we had, like I said, it was huge. It was 350 people, and that's including the actual band members, that's including the color guard, that's including like kind of everybody involved, percussion, everyone. So we would have these massive, massive college parties because a lot of the drum majors lived in the same house off campus. And so they had this old house that was like definitely not up to code. I can't even believe that they would allow a bunch of college kids to rent this place, because it was like so dilapidated. Like it truly was like, my God, if anybody came in here to do any type of check, that they would have just the house
fallen
would have
through
been,
the floor. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? It would have been demolished. So
Yeah.
a weird thing about Amherst is that there's I forget what they're called, but there's like those weird like old are they called like blue laws or something, where there's those like weird laws that are still in effect, that are just like, they're like weird laws that don't really make any sense. So one of the things that is in place still in Amherst is that kegs are actually illegal in Amherst. And as you know, college parties would have kegs at them.
Yeah.
So the guys that were the drum majors at the time, they were my friends Nick and John. And Hi, Nick and John. Jonathan, I should say. He went by Jonathan. And
Sorry.
so they would have
he lets me call him John. Sorry.
His formal name. Oh, you guys are tight. Okay. So they would do these massive parties at the old drum major house, and just absolute chaos. We had a lot of off-campus parties, but this one was always the most fun. And almost everybody in the band would come at some point. So you had that many people trying to shove themselves into this house that was like a 4-bedroom shack. And it was always wild. So this particular night, it was around Halloween. It was a Halloween party where the theme was couples costumes. So you had to be famous couples in history. I do not remember what I was dressed as. The main event was the 2 drum majors, Jonathan and Nick, went as, wait for it, Jesus and the cross. Which is quite possibly one of the funniest things I've ever heard. So Nick was the cross, and he had like, he like hot glue gunned like a bunch of balsa wood and stuff onto him to look like an actual. Oh yeah, he went all out to look like an actual cross.
I was expecting you to say like he had like a brown like morph suit, like just a simple brown morph suit. Wow.
No,
awesome.
He went all out.
Sorry, go ahead.
So he went all out, and then John had like you know what I mean, just like whatever you picture Jesus wearing on the cross is what he was wearing. Yeah. Like not a toga, but like you get it.
Oh yeah. So, little underwear, little Huggies, yeah.
Yes, and then Nick would carry him around on his back. It was so fucked up, but so funny. And as I mentioned previously, kegs were illegal in Amherst, so the party gets busted up by the cops. And they drag the people throwing the party, because there's underage drinking and illegal kegs. They drag John and Nick to jail. So they take them in. Did they
carry him like across to jail?
Well, that's what's so funny is that like they had to book them, and they're in costume. Okay, like in their booking photos, which is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Like, just can you imagine like trying to explain that? Where it's like, you know what I mean? Where and like I can't remember exactly what it was that the cops said to Nick, but like because they were like mortified and all this stuff, and they were like, oh my God. And so he's like, oh, and he's like, I think the cop must have been like really religious or something, because I think he said something to effect of like I can't, like, are you happy that he died for your sins or something like ridiculous. But like it was just so funny, like knowing that they all got like dragged. And I mean, we were always did stupid shit in this band, and like it was. So I was all. They also had. This is even nerdier. So there was a band sorority and a band fraternity, but they were service sorority and fraternity. So there was no houses. You just like did shit for the band essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in the band sorority. It was Tau Beta Sigma. And then the band fraternity was Kappa Kappa Psi. And when you had to pledge, like you were assigned like a big brother and a big sister. And when you had to kind of like get initiated, you had like you did whatever activity it was that your big brother kind of like decided you were going to do. So my big brother, his name is Rob, and he's like, I'm going to pick you up outside your dorm. And he's like, so just be outside at like whatever it was, 7 p.m. I was like, great. I come outside, and Rob, because he also worked like to he at the time, I think he'd already graduated or something, but he was doing stuff. He was like on band staff. So I come outside, and we had these like bubble cars that were like golf carts for the band to drive around on the field. So he stole one of the bubble cars, and he's like, get in, bitch, we're going. And so we got shit-faced driving these stupid bubble car around campus, like popping wheelies and like driving in the middle of the road, all this shit. Finally, the next thing we know, we get pulled over by like 4 different campus cops. And at this point, it's late. It's like probably midnight, if not later. And campus police is furious. They're like, does George Parks know? The band director, who has since passed, who is the best person on the planet, he literally was like, he's like, does George Parks know you have these? And we were like, no. And he's like, we're going to call Mr. Parks. So they call Mr. Parks. It's like midnight. And we're like, fuck. We're going to we had like a show the next day. We're like, we're going to get kicked out of band. We're like spiraling, like all this, like, just like how dorky, right? We're going to get kicked out of band. And so we're waiting
not
there.
Kicked out of college, not kicked out of work or anything, kicked out of band.
Kicked out of band. And so we're like shitting our pants, right? And so he like, we see the cop like talking to Mr. Parks, like da. And then he comes back over, and he's like, all right. He's like, we're gonna follow you. We're gonna escort you back to where the bubble cars belong to make sure that you put them in. You're gonna give us the keys, and then like you're free to go. We're like, all right. So the next day we had our game, and we were like, fuck. And so we like, with our tail between our legs, we like see Mr. Parks, and we were like thinking like, oh man, this is it. Like we're, and we're like, Mr. Parks, we just want to say like, we're so sorry. We know that was wrong. Like blah, 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 blah. And Mr. Parks just all of a sudden, like a huge smile just like comes across his face. And he's like, oh, did the officer not tell you? I was laughing my ass off when he called me. And we were like, Jesus Christ. Like what? He was just like, he was just the best. Like it was truly the most fun. Like, oh, just the best.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, shout out to that incredible person. I know, no longer with us, but it's awesome having instructors or leaders in your life where they understand you're still a child, you're still developing, you're still having to have these incredible moments, and for him to be like, look, awesome, you did right, but also you fucked up. I mean, that's great to have.
He was so invested in everybody in band and like in general that this was before like really anybody had like super smartphones, like they had cameras, but like nothing crazy. He would go around, like I said, 350 people in this band. He would go around during, band camp. That week that we had during the summer before school started, when we had band camp, we were learning all the like, all the charts and stuff and all the formations. He would go around with his little shitty phone, his little flip phone, and he would take pictures of every single person in the band. So by the end of band camp, it was just a week, he would learn every single person's name in the band. Like
That's
he
awesome.
he just cared. You know what I mean? Like he really truly cared. He was the best.
Yeah, I feel like teachers who really care are the only ones that you really think of. I mean, I've been out of college for 10 years. I've been out of high school for 15, 16, whatever years. But I only think of the teachers who truly cared. The teachers who would see me stealing a golf cart and whatever and laughing about it because those are the ones who actually know who I am. So that's awesome. I mean, cheers to this man. It sounds like a great teacher, but
Mr. Parks
but
is
yeah,
the damn best. Yep.
to Mr. Parks, yeah. And I'll have my last drink because I'm finishing my full bottle right now.
Your $4 bottle of CVS sake.
Oh yeah, I have ingested $4 today, but awesome. Great drinking stories. Thank you so much for joining this show. Everyone, again, just a little reminder, let's make sure that we send her some money because she did something incredible.
Yeah.
She hit number 1 comedy album on iTunes. None of us can say that we've done that.
Well, I wouldn't say none. I mean, some.
I mean, listeners and viewers, my listeners and viewers, no.
You're like, oh, my people, bunch of deadbeats.
Yeah, they're all dead. Everyone's dead. They're not deadbeats, they're dead. Valerie, thank you so much for doing this, doing the show in this episode. I want to thank all of the listeners and viewers for joining in. You can find us on social media at hadwm. You can buy our merch to support this show at shop.hadwm.com. And thanks, everyone. And thank you, Valerie Tosi.
Thanks for having me.
I'm just going to show this because I'm empty.
Yeah, I'm not. But I did. I mean, this is a big bottle. I did some damage.
Well, good.
I didn't that much. That's a lot.